Hey guys, Aaron Dorr here with the American Firearms Association. As you guys know, AFA loves to highlight the successful use of our gun rights in the hands of everyday citizens to stop violent criminals. Our gun rights are about much more than hunting. They're about stopping tyrants, number one, but they work pretty well for stopping criminals, as you're going to see in this case here right now before you. AFA is not lawyers. We're not giving you legal advice. We're simply telling you what we think we would do if we were in this guy's shoes. Guys, as always, subscribe to our channel for more content like this. I'm going to play the video through once at full speed. Then we're going to break it down and play it for you frame by frame. Here we go. Got a kid standing in the pawn shop. He's holding something in his right hand. Can't quite tell what it is. He lunges forward, walks behind the counter, and then immediately he rushes back, drops his weapon. You see the handgun come out right there in the video feed. The clerk comes around the corner, holds him at gunpoint, stands on top of the kid's small of his back, looks around, grabs his phone, calling 911, we presume. And the frame is going to end, the video is going to end right in that frame right there. So that's it. That's the entire video. So we're going to back it up and we're going to play it frame by frame. And I want to be really clear on this. We're not here to John Rambo or SEAL Team 6 these videos to death. We give mad props to anybody who uses their firearm in a legal way to stop a violent criminal. Whatever fault we can find, it's not fault. It's more, what can we do better if we were in that position to better survive the thing physically and survive the legal aftermath legally afterwards? So that's the context in which we're going to criticize or analyze. That's a better word. Analyze this video. Nothing but respect for this pawn shop clerk. So first things first, we have this kid standing here. He has something in his right hand. We cannot quite make it out what it is. He's waving it. Some kind of a blunt impact weapon. You can see it right there. It's about 2 feet long. It could be a bat. It could be a golf club. Heck, it could be a machete. We're not really sure. The video is too grainy to know with any kind of certainty. But he walks behind the counter immediately, and he goes off the screen for just a little bit here, and then he begins to back up, and he backs up in a hurry, as you can see. He backs up. He lays that item down on the glass counter, and he's immediately getting down on the ground. He's being proned out right now by the clerk. Got his hands up right here. So number one, right off the bat, great job by this store clerk for having a plan and having a gun. He decided sometime in the past he was not going to be a victim of an armed robbery. He carried concealed and had a plan in place to address a threat just like this. Let's keep going. The clerk comes in the corner, gets out from behind the glass. He approaches this kid now. He has some kind of a semi-automatic handgun, the way it looks. And this is where it gets a little bit dicey, okay? And so here's where we're going to find ways that we could improve on this if we were in this guy's shoes. Again, good job on him for having a gun and being mentally prepared to display that firearm against an armed robber. But from here, there are things we could improve on. Number one, it's a mistake. It's a mistake to approach this robber at all. I'll just say it very clearly. It's a mistake, in our opinion, to approach him. Now, if you can't see his hands, that's different. You must see the criminal's hands to make sure he or she is not grabbing an additional weapon. So if he couldn't see his hands, that's one thing. But assuming he could see his hands, given that he had elevation and there's kind of a glass storefront display right there, he should have stayed further away than what he did. Because as we keep watching here, right there, I'll back it up again and play it. Give me 1 second here. You see right here, right about now, he slips. You see how his ankle, it twisted off the guy's back, and he very quickly, or very, very close to, came close to falling over in this snippet of video. And if you look at the video closely, and again, it's grainy, I'll grant you that, but you can see that his right hand is on that gun, and his trigger finger very clearly seems to be on the trigger. And so you can imagine the scenario here where he has his foot on this guy's back, and he's still kind of rocking around there trying to get footing. And you could imagine if he goes to slip, that his body, by a natural instinct, will contract, right? Your body is going to contract if you're falling to bring in your limbs and protect yourself from falling. And if that happens right there, if it happens like that, he could shoot this criminal right square in the back. That's a real problem. Let's keep watching. He looks around, probably trying to find a coworker. That's our best guess. Trying to find someone to call 911. He can't find anybody. Reached into his back pocket, and now he is looking at his phone, trying, we presume, to call 911. This kind of goes from bad to worse. So now what you've got is this guy his foot is planted on the suspect's back, number one. Number two, his finger is still on the trigger, we believe. Now, at this vantage point here, there's a scenario where he may have moved his finger on the slide. And if he did that, we give him a big shout out for having that kind of presence of mind. But either way, he has his foot on the guy's back. He has his finger either on the trigger or right on top of the trigger on the frame of the slide. And his other hand is now calling 911. So what he's not doing is maintaining distance against this threat. If this guy was a more active threat, he could have swung his arm. He could have kicked his right leg. He could have just simply twisted his hips, and this guy would have rolled right off of him. From there, the thug could have used a weapon, his fists. Maybe he has a knife to stab him or take other actions against him. And again, the other threat is this guy would contract his hands involuntarily and shoot this kid square in the back on the ground. Now, when I say kid, I want to be clear. He's an armed robbery suspect. No question about it. I'm not trying to minimize his threat to this good guy. But in that situation, to us, this was probably not handled as well as it could have. What he should have done, in our opinion, number one, maintain distance. Always maintain distance against a violent criminal when they're down on the ground. Order them down the ground like this guy did, and again, he did a great job doing that. Prone them out, obviously have them toss the weapon away, and then have somebody else call 911 if at all possible. If there's nobody around, if you're totally all by yourself, well, that's fine. Call them by yourself, but do so from a position of cover. Otherwise, you're in a situation like this right here, and he is just not able to stop this kid from rolling over and attacking him. Number two, you might want to consider this as well. Now, I get it. Red-blooded American, I get it. When someone comes into my business waving some kind of a weapon, trying to rob me, I'm going to get frustrated. I'll be honest. I'm going to get frustrated. I'm going to get hot, and I'm going to want to restrain him or detain him or something like that and call the cops just like this guy did. But it's 2023, and blue city prosecutors all across America are just chomping at the bit for a chance to come after gun owners in any situation, especially if they can claim some sort of a negligent discharge or some sort of a unjustifiable use of force. So in that context, in 2023, in a blue city or in a blue state, if this happens to you, you may simply consider letting the suspect go, right? I get it. I want to stop him too. I want the cops there. I want him in handcuffs. I want him in prison. But the reality is that depending upon what jurisdiction you're in, the smarter move these days, tactically, legally, is after you've proned him out, after you've pulled your firearm and got him down and the threat is ended, if you're by yourself like this guy is here, you could simply let him leave. Because what do you know? Well, you know you've got the whole thing captured on a surveillance camera. The entire thing is captured. There is no question as to what happened. The police will almost always be able to find a suspect based on video evidence like this. And you're going to get justice if a blue city prosecutor will even prosecute for something like this later on. So that'd be another option to consider. Besides using cover and holding them at gunpoint, you could use cover, hold them at gunpoint, and then simply say leave, and then call 911 afterwards. Either way, it is critical to maintain distance at all times from a threat like this because, yeah, he laid his blunt impact weapon down, but you simply do not know what else he has in his waistband or in his pockets. So again, guys, great job to this store clerk for what he did. Great job for having a plan, for having a gun. Just maintain that distance. Do not stand on top of a suspect that you have at gunpoint and consider letting them leave for a non-violent offense like this. That's our thoughts, guys, on this. Let us know what you think. What do you think he did right? If you disagree with us, that's totally fine. Leave your thoughts in the comments section. What did he do right? What did he do wrong? But most especially, what would you do if this happened to you? Guys, don't forget, subscribe for more content like this, and we'll keep you informed. Take care.